At least
Oh,
Manly lost.
oh, mate. At least we scored points. Oh wait,
Oh,
you're a
yeah, fuck
Broncos supporter.
you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I
Wait, are
thought,
we recording?
yeah. I just started it before.
How's it going, folks? Wooden Spoon SuperCoach here. Mac doing the intro today because Jake is faded and I've got the spoon. Uh,
You know what?
but
We're gonna roll with that. Go. Love it.
we both had a pretty rough week. We're looking to bounce back with the trades or lack of trades this week, depending. It's all about strategy from here, folks. You can still win from even with scores like my atrocious 1084. But more importantly, prize pool is going up 7.97 and 64 cents so far, up $8.90 this week. Thanks to some top punts, particularly it was Project Spartan getting a couple over the line there. Jake, you want to tell us how this works, mate?
Yes. So every week I put up $10 for the comments to split between bets, up to 5 comments. So get in there quickly. Say, for instance, you do what Project Spartan did and you took the line in both games and you get both of them. Then he made about $3 or $4 from that this week. It's going to build up over the season. And whoever is sitting in this top spot at the end of the season gets the amount they've contributed paid out to them, as well as it being added to the prize pool. And it doesn't come out of the prize pool either, which is nice.
Let's go. Get your tips in the comment section and you can help contribute towards the prize pool. That prize pool, by the way, folks, that's for the group league. Get in the group league. It is 899247. We've only got a few hundred people in there still, so plenty of opportunity to win. And this prize pool is going to keep going up all throughout the season as well.
Yeah, yeah. We got almost 500 people in there, I think. I think it was like 460 something. Anyway, Punts leaderboard is there. Fantastic. Let's get on to the games. Oh, this is going to be painful because even though I've got the two guys here that probably you want to have, I still feel like I've missed out because I don't have Leo, Lasardi, or Joe Chan. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to target a couple of those guys coming into the price changes at least. Probably not this week, but I definitely need to make some moves. What did you make from this game?
Well, if everyone saw my team reveal last week, I had Farlongo in there, but after Drinky's terrible performance, I rage traded Farlongo for Reese Walsh trying to chase points, and that worked out fabulous. So yeah, I'm kind of upset that I ended up going away from Farlongo on this one, but yeah, I had Harry Grant as well, and you couldn't hope for much more. He didn't even play 60 minutes, and he scored 2 tries, a couple of line breaks. He was elite. I also need to try and find a way to get Moses Leo in, although I'm happy to wait a few weeks, see how he goes. And honestly, the same thing for Lasardi and Chan. Still not 100% sure about Lasardi's job security.
Yep.
Chan, I think, looks really good, but at this and is the 80-minute guy because Lasardi did take a break as well. So I think I'm leaning more towards Chan, but I'd like to see him do, similar numbers to this when he's up against a tougher opponent because the Eels, they didn't bring much. On the Eel side, though, if you had Iongi or Jack Williams or DeBellin or Hopgood, then you can hold all those guys. I think Hopgood's score would have been better without that unfortunate sin binning. And yeah, everybody else sort of delivered what you'd expect. You're probably not expecting them to grow a lot in value. So, but Iongi, I think he will be a gun this year and definitely a pot opportunity there if you can get him when he goes on his run. But yeah, otherwise this one, a bit of a smashing. Can't take too much from it.
For Iongi to get a 67 in a game where the Eels score 4 points is pretty good. So that just kind of shows when he does go on that run, it could be quite huge. I've just realized as well, I didn't actually have Farlongo for this game. That's just the trade I've made this week. So it's showing up in the graph for me that I've got Farlongo when I
No.
didn't. So that's a bit of a spoiler for what I'm thinking of doing this
Already
week.
making
But
trades.
yeah, I am. Yeah, there was some guy that I listened to about Drinkwater. Nah, oh,
Yeah. All right, we'll get to
he's
drinky.
got the same issues. I can't
Well,
complain
I
too
had
much.
drink water. I had drink water and Walsh, so it doesn't go much worse than
Yeah,
that, mate. Yeah, you got the crown for this week, so let's move past that.
yeah.
Yep.
This was such a good watch. I think it's going to be a very intimidating game going over to play the Wars in New Zealand because
Yep.
they looked so dangerous. Such a physical start to the game, and yeah, I loved watching this.
As a Sam Walker owner and somebody who tipped the Roosters, I was pretty disheartened with the result of this one. And I think that it actually comes down a lot to Rob Toya being missing. I think that defensive security and stuff, like people playing a bit out of position on that edge, just sort of threw him to start the game, and then it just became about chasing points and trying too hard and forcing plays. And I must have been yelling at the TV several times, particularly Sam Walker kicking it on first tackle straight into Kurt Capewell's hands. I was raging. But nonetheless, I also feel like he got stitched up on a try assist there. And I have heard around on the Supercoach channels that he actually would have scored about 84 on the old system here. So I'm pretty happy with Sam
Hurts.
Walker. Anyone with Sam Walker, I'd hold. Teddy, obviously, he's a season hold. I'm happy with Sam Walker. I would not be tempted by Tanner Boyd or Chanel Harris Tavita in this situation here. RTS could be a bit of a season keeper. But personally, first game of the season down in New Zealand against a Rooster side missing one of their best defensive centers. Yeah, look, I wouldn't take too much away from this. Don't rush to Tanner Boyd.
I was just thinking with Tanner Boyd, what would he have to score next week for you to be like, okay, I've got to trade him in now?
He's 574,000.
Yeah.
I just. It,
So, I mean, we've both got a drink water that we can downgrade.
no,
And
no, 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 no.
are you keeping him?
He's too. I'm probably going to keep Drinkwater, bro. He's
Oh,
playing the
wow.
Tigers this week. Come on.
Is he though?
And
Or is he going to
he's
sit it
playing the
out?
Tigers. He's playing the Tigers, and he'll be. Look, if Team lists come out and he's not named, then I'll jump off a week early. But I'm
Then I
willing
might have
to
to
hold and
reverse my
give him.
traits as well.
I'm giving him the second week opportunity. But yeah, look, Tanner Boyd. I think he's just too expensive. Like I can't imagine him doing this every week. Like, yeah. So personally, yeah. Look, if he does 100 again and Sam Walker flops again, then potentially it's a bit of a straight swap across, make 100K, and then look to pivot to somebody else after a week or two. Yeah, look, it's viable. It's viable, but
If he
he'd
goes
need to
big
do like
tomorrow,
another.
if he goes big next week though, sorry, he'll go up 200k, I reckon, with a break
Yeah.
even like that. So, because normally they don't get that high when they're up at the 500k price point.
I'm
James
holding
Fisher
Sam Walker.
Harris in this game was very good.
Mm, yeah,
74. If he can keep doing it like that, like
yeah.
74 is significantly higher. I'm wondering how many extra points he was getting from the third man in tackles. I'm not sure how much of a boost he would have got, but if we can expect up anywhere near 70 consistently, then he could definitely be a good trade in and safe for the origin period as well.
Yeah, not bad. A bit disappointing from Naf White and Aaron Clark in this one, but you got to be happy if you went for the Uelu play in your hooker two position. He did all right with a little line break there, 48 in about 50 minutes or so. Stoked. Hopefully he makes some cash, can move him on towards Brandon Smith in round 6 or 7.
Can't quite see him on the screen here, but down the bottom, Jacob Laban, 21. That kind of stings. I know a few people were keen on him, even with the Halasima coming off the bench, who also didn't score that great. So can't really suggest either of those two if people are looking at them.
Yeah.
But again, first game of the year, we can leave those guys. This was really surprising. 68 from Payne Haas. Look, I'll take it in a kind of lackluster week for myself. At least I didn't miss with my captaincy. It's definitely lower than I thought it was going to be. I really thought he'd be getting a 75 or an 80 at least, but look, it could be worse, so I'll just take that.
Yeah, look, the ball was out of play a lot. There was 33 errors in this game. So, next week I expect it straight away that'll go up. Same for Carrigan. They also both had a little rest. Admittedly, Payne Haas, he went off and then he had to go straight back on after 2 minutes. But Pat Carrigan had a bit of a rest there as well. So, look, I'm looking forward to seeing these guys do much bigger numbers for the rest of the season. This game was just atrocious. It's a proper poo slinger. My biggest rage moment, though, was about Tom Jenkins coming in for Tungo, because I had Tungo in draft and I didn't know about this, and Tungo just didn't play, and Jenkins was a free agent. I could have picked him up, so that's a bit of a bummer.
That
But
is,
yeah, look,
God.
this was a proper poo slinger. I wouldn't take anything too seriously out of this, because look, even on the Panthers side of things, they made 15 errors. Like, yeah, clunky. There's a bit of talk about him being clinical and stuff, but I just think overall this game, like, the numbers are down for everybody. So yeah, next week I'd expect to see all these players perform better.
This game, I after watching the Warriors the game before, I was like so pumped coming into this game, and then it was just constantly whistle blowing, dropping the ball. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, um,
Yeah, as a Broncos fan, they looked really lost as well. So I'm hoping next week they come out looking a lot better, a lot more polished,
yeah,
and Reece Walsh does what he does and makes up for his 34 because I traded him in and captained him for 34 points. Let's go.
yeah, yeah. That's heavy. That's very heavy. There's just not much good to say about this game, is there? Let's just move on. Absolute thumping. Sharks 50, Titans 10. So Braden Trindle, Nico Hines with 132 and 131 respectively. Jesse Ramian, who Mac managed to get the points on, so well done you.
Yeah, well, I mentioned last week, anybody who checked out the video, I actually said you could anti-pod Eero and go to Ramian because they were looking to go right a bit more and he was a lot cheaper. I actually did it myself to facilitate getting Walsh into my team. But yeah, so I'm happy about the Ramian side of it. I just wish that Walsh went off as well. On the Titans side as well, we mentioned a couple of weeks ago after I watched that trial game that Arama Howe was a bit of a standout. And then, yeah, he was actually really good. I just wish he got one of those tries because he had three air swings at a rolling ball in the in goal, and it was tough situations and all. But yeah, if he just got one of those attacking stats, he would have been up there with the other cheapy guns that performed really well. So I'm looking forward to holding him and seeing how he goes for a bit. And Feimani, I'm okay with the 54 as well. So and Kinney 59 in a losing team, happy with that. Verrills surprised me a bit. Anyone on Tino? I would be on minutes watch for sure because he didn't play a lot of minutes. And if that's sort of his role this year, then, it could be problematic and he might want to jump off before he drops in price. But I actually expect he'll probably play more minutes next week. And Bo Fermor, again, he was a little bit lackluster, but they got rolled. So if he had been past the ball a couple more times, he would have had an opportunity to make an extra line break or bust an extra tackle, maybe even get a try. He was very close once. So yeah, Bo Fermor, happy with, did better than Tino for cheaper. So I feel like that was a bit of a win on my team as well. But yeah, look, Titans cheapies look good, and yeah, minutes watch for Tino.
Yeah, see, my issue is I've got Tino and Kaolero. I keep going to make this point about the trades, but I will save that for after because I want to explain why I traded who I picked and all of that. Do you have anything else for the Sharks? I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory. They attacked very well.
Sharks, yeah, got to give Eero another chance. Definitely look at Ramian and yeah, look Trindle or Hines is probably an option, but I would not expect this to ever happen again. So both is yeah probably a bit a bit wild. Look, Nico Hines is serious like season keeper. I'm actually bummed about that switch to Sam Walker because I had Nico Hines for like the entire preseason and I had the C on him as well. So I watched one Roosters game and went to Walker instead, and it didn't quite work out. I'm going to still hold Walker, but yeah, Nico Hines is a great option.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, and then well, look with on Cooper Buy too. Like I'll if you've got him, I'd keep him and see how he goes next week before moving him out. Because if they increase his minutes, he's actually a really good player, and they got smashed here by 40 points. And when he came on, I thought, oh, this is too late. We should have put him on earlier to make an impact in the middle. So look at hold him for another week, see how he goes, and look if he comes out with 25 again, then maybe you just move him to a Ryan Couchman or something like that at a similar price.
Yeah. That is why I'm making one of these trades as well, because that's already 3 that we've talked about in this video that I'm going to be looking at doing next week. So that's a boost pretty much locked in. But then at that point, I think my cash gen is good. So what have we
Next
got
up,
next? Manly and Raiders.
this game is so good.
Yeah, it was. I felt like the extra time felt short lived. I was like, it started and I was like, oh shit, it's over. Cool.
Yeah, Sanders did what Fogarty could not last year, right in
Yeah,
his face. It
yeah.
was excellent. I love it.
And naturally, the guy who kicked all our field goals is gone as well. So it's just like, yes.
Yeah, look, to be honest, I'm surprised that Manly came back in this one at the end. I said it a couple of weeks ago. Kohler is like your and Walsh were like your only hope, and you reminded me, Turbo was out of that trial, and I said, yeah, of course, Turbo and Olakawato as well. And you can see here Kohler, Travojevic, Olakawato. They are the three strike weapons. And if, look, Manly was going to be relying heavily on those guys. Jake Simpson did pretty well. So if you're looking for if anyone who had Simpkin, then be happy with that. But look, on the Raiders side, Noah Martin, I think he's basically the must-have cheapie that has emerged. If you didn't get him because of the late news mail that he was getting the spot, then I think he's going to be the one that is most important to get into your team. He played 80 minutes. He looked really strong. Sanders, after 1 week, appears to be the winner out of the Sanders Atkinson battle, but I'm happy to hold Atkinson for another week or maybe two and see how I go there. But if Atkinson, flops again and Sanders comes out with another 70 or something like that next week, then I'll be looking to make that pivot before the price changes. Yeah, look, Horsburgh, a sneaky shout for a good hold this season as well. He looked very busy, very involved, and Sasangi was excellent. Somebody that I'm looking to pick up in draft actually, with the dual position there as well. So I'm not sure he's about his job security. I think it's Timoko that might be coming back through Cup, and we'll have to check the teams list again. But if he gets named over Timoko when Timoko's fit, then yeah, Sasangi is going to be a great option. So yeah, lots of good stuff going on in the Raiders side of things. If anyone had like Ethan Strange, then look, you could probably hold and see how he goes again. But yeah, I'd probably look to jump off before if he does another 30 next week or something. But otherwise, yeah, Raiders looking really good. Noah Martin pretty much a must get into your team in the next week or two before he goes up in price.
Yes, I need to make a formal apology. In the last video, I said there's no reason to have Noah Martin in your team. And at the point, it was the smart thing to say, because at that point, Nicholson wasn't confirmed to be out for an extended period of time. But if you did manage to get him in, then well done, 116 points. Yeah, he is I'm pretty sure the single guy who scored the highest over his break even. So he's going to be a massive cash cow, that guy.
Yep.
I've made a list of the best cash cows that we'll get to after this last game. Dolphins and Rabbitohs.
This was fun. I probably spent way too much of my voice energy booing Latrell while he tried to kick goals. But look, it was fun to be there. I got to say, Dolphins, they weren't as scrappy as I've heard some people talking about. They were actually pretty good. Classic Dolphin style. I think a couple of the tries from the Rabbitohs came from Dolphins players running out of the line to make a big hit and didn't make the tackle. And then that second phase play was sort of killing the Dolphins. And then yeah, look, I personally wasn't a big fan of the refereeing either. Maybe that's just my bias, but yeah, look, Mitchell and Walker owners, well done, well done. We both chatted about having Walker or Purdue. You obviously stuck with Walker, and that's one of the main reasons why you have the crown this week over me. So well done there. I just hope as a non-owner that he comes out and scores 20 or 30 next week and makes my complete point for me. Once we have more of a
Yeah.
picture here, we'll know what's going on. Same with Latrell. But up against the Roosters, look, it's probably unlikely they're gonna show up for that one. Luckily, Jake, we both had Kalau Matangi, so that was good. We did well with that shout.
Yeah.
Fafita did well. Graham did well. They look really good going right, to be honest. They do. So Campbell Graham's a serious option. And yeah, look, Cam Murray was really involved as well. So it does look like he could be a really good play, especially with the new system. The new system actually benefited him a lot with a lot of third man tackles. So yeah, look, Cam Murray probably still a good cash cow option. It's just how many bunnies can you have? Herbie owners, I'd be happy with Herbie. It's also Herbie faders like me. I went for the Cobbo option, trying to make cash towards Herbie. I'm still on that route, I guess, like because Herbie, he didn't pop off, but also neither did Cobbo. So hopefully next week, Flegler, I was pretty happy with his 47. It's well above his price, so that's good. But yeah, look, really need a little bit more in attack from the Dolphins to get some of those bigger scores coming through. But I think they will come this year, that's for sure. Their shape does look good.
I will not be surprised. You can already see I've got the captaincy on Herbie for next week. That's not from the round just gone. I've got the vice captaincy on Payne Haas this time around. And then who have the Dolphins got? Let's have a quick look. They've got the Titans. Beautiful.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think he could go absolutely ballistic.
I'm hoping it's Cobbo though. I'm hoping that Cobbo is the beneficiary this week and scores a hat trick against the Titans. Um, Herbie will probably score well. Cobbo hopefully scores better, grows in some cash, and then like my original plan is to sort of upgrade him to Herbie in sort of round 5 or 6 or something when I downgrade another cheapie or something for some cash as well. So looking forward to trying to make my way towards him there. But yeah, look, Hammy, as in Hamiso Tabuai Fido owners, you'd be relatively happy. He looked good. He looked like he wanted to get involved. Look, Cobbo was actually really solid as well. He just had a lot of tough runs, but he didn't shy away from the workload, which was great. I actually thought he was really energetic. Like even at the start of the game, he took 2 runs in 3 tackles and like deliberately he said put his hand up and said, "Let me go again." So yeah, look, stoked with Cobbo. Yeah, just a bit of an unlucky outcome, I think, in this game.
Yeah, I can see massive scores coming for both of those guys.
Yeah,
But yeah, Cody Walker, I'm still just as scared of having as before this score, because this is what I'm scared of him coming out and scoring 104, and then next week he scores 20, because it is that kind of roller coaster. We don't know what kind of consistency the Rabbitohs is going to have, but definitely can't complain with him coming out with a 104, because that is
yeah.
massive.
Bunnies smashed it. They absolutely smashed it, and they're a serious threat. And you probably need 2 or 3 bunnies in your super coach team. It's just which ones do you want? That's right.
So I've gone through all the sort of interesting players. This was just to help myself make a decision. So we've got the player, their score, their price, and then how many points they scored over their price. So Noah Martin comes in 92 points over. So I think if you're forced into making a trade this week, you'd want to pick from the top of this list. So for me, it's suggesting me to get Farlongo because I want to get rid of Drinkwater. So that's how I've picked him. And then I'll be prioritizing probably a Noah Martin trade. Yes, a Moses Leo trade as well. I think I want to get those two in next week. So getting this trade out of the way now frees me up for those 2 weeks. And then, yeah. So do you have any plans for what you're doing trade wise this week, Mac?
Okay. Haven't really thought too much about it yet, but if you had asked me yesterday, I was rage trading both Drinky and Walshy out and getting Farlongo back and probably Ponga and trying to generate cash and then trying to move him back up to like a Walsh and a Teddy later or something.
Yeah.
But realistically, they both have soft matchups this week. Well, not necessarily soft, but yeah, look, Drinky's up against the Tigers. If he doesn't get named, then I'll move him down to a Farlonga or a Ponga. Maybe Ponga because he kicks. And if yeah, look, Walshy up against the Eels. So yeah, look, I hope surely the Broncos perform better next week, and Walsh could come out and do 150. But if he comes out and does another 30, then I'll back off before before those price changes come in. Otherwise on this list, yeah, I'm keen to get Sanders at some point if he proves to be the half that's done the better job out of the cheapies. But I'm happy to give Atkinson a few weeks, unless of course Sanders comes out does another 100 or something. Then I'll jump across to make money. Lasardi and Chan, I don't really know yet. I like Chan more personally.
Yeah, me too.
He's the 80-minute one. His security's better, but his base isn't quite as good. But I think he has more potential for upside because Hughes is just really good at finding space for his outside players. So uh, just want to get Noah Martin in, and yeah, maybe one of the Storm guys, potentially Chan. Otherwise, Ryan Couchman could be a really good cash cow as well.
Yeah.
So that's an option. If I do decide to move Cooper by on, I would switch him over to a Couchman or something. I've really only want to get Noah Martin and Ryan Couchman so that I can generate some better cash on the bench. And if I need to, I'll move one of my fullbacks on, but I'm going to try and hold him for now.
Fair enough. Yeah. I would argue that you shouldn't sell Walsh. Definitely don't sell Walsh.
That's right.
So the only thing that makes me not want to sell Drinkwater this week is because I could wait a week, then trade straight to Walsh, because there's a lot of people targeting him coming out of week 3, because that's when the draw really lightens up and he could go on like a massive tear. So I could still go with that plan and only do the Drinkwater trade, but then that's if he doesn't get named this week, then that's like 800k sitting on the bench, and it's like it's tough. So a lot of
Oh,
decisions will be made tomorrow.
mm. Yeah, look, the Walsh thing, if he comes out and does 30 points again and he's set to lose 150K or something, I'm seriously considering to trade him out for 1 week and then trade him back in.
Mm,
Like, just trade him for a far longer or something, make 100K, let Walsh drop 100K,
yeah.
and then trade him back. I know it seems crazy. It's two trades, but it's 200K. And like you said, round 4, Battle of Brisbane, that is the one that you want to get on Walsh for because from there, there's 3 or 4 games that are quite soft. And by then, he should be into his rhythm as well. So, look, I'm going to hold, and I hope that I can hold him all the way through. I just, if he does another 30 this week, I'll be stinging about the cash. I just will be afraid to lose that cash when there's obvious good cash to be made at the fullback position. And look, it might be a waste of trades, but that's why I've got the spoon this week.
So we'll leave the rest of the decision making for after teams lists come out. Don't forget to join the group league. We'll come back over to it here. It is 899247 to join the group league. And don't forget to leave your comments down below to get that prize pool growing. I reckon we'll hit $800 this week pretty comfortably, so that'll be good to see.